For the first time since retaking power, Taliban leaders tried to lay out what their control over Afghanistan will look like.
The Islamic Emirate, after the liberation of the homeland, does not hold any enmity with anyone. We understand that our country went through a very critical time in war. We don't want Afghanistan to be a battlefield anymore. From today onward, the war is over.
The Taliban's swift success has raised many questions over how they outlasted the world's biggest superpower for over 2 decades. But more importantly, who are they and what do they want? Meaning students in Arabic, the Taliban appeared on the scene in 1994. These were the days of the Afghan Civil War following the withdrawal of Soviet forces from the country in 1989. It consisted largely of students from Pashtun tribes, Afghanistan's largest ethnic group, who fought with the Afghan resistance, the Mujahideen.
We know all the groups that were Muslim before, and they have changed. We will fight anyone who doesn't follow Islam until they correct themselves.
After seizing most of the country in 1996, the Taliban moved the capital to Kandahar, the Pashtun heartland in the south. The Taliban emphasized the spiritual and cultural differences between the West and the East. After assuming power, they imposed their harsh interpretation of Islamic Sharia law. This included brutal public punishments such as floggings, amputations, and mass executions. The Taliban also prevented women and girls from attending school, forced them to wear head-to-toe coverings, and forbid them from leaving the house unaccompanied by a man.
With the Taliban, I think we have gone back 50 years. If this regime continues, women will become illiterate and uninformed about anything happening in the world.
But all that changed after September 11th, 2001. The attacks, in which more than 2,700 people were killed, were orchestrated by al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, who operated from inside Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. Less than a month later, the U.S. and allied forces invaded the country, and following a swift campaign, the Taliban government was crushed. Most of the remaining Taliban officials fled to neighboring Pakistan.
Thanks to our military and our allies and the brave fighters of Afghanistan, the Taliban regime is coming to an end.
Since then, the Taliban reformed itself as a guerrilla insurgency. Slowly, they began pouring back to the Afghan countryside, gaining ground and support in rural areas. Today, the Taliban is trying to present itself as different from the past. Its leaders are on a charm offensive, promising an inclusive Islamic government and women's rights. But with growing accounts from across the country of violence, especially against women, many Afghans are skeptic that today's Taliban is any different from that of 2 decades ago.